Hello, this is a recording of the PowerPoint that has been shared tonight at school for those children that are attending Hothersall Lodge this year. So we are going on the 26th and coming back on the Wednesday, which is the 28th. Children need to be at school at the usual time. The only difference is that they do need to come through the hall doors with their bags. All the bags will be kept in the hall until we do set off, and we don't set off until lunchtime. On that day, on the 26th, the children will need to bring with them a packed lunch to eat at Hothersall Lodge. When we get there, we have a tour of the accommodation and the children eat the lunch before doing any activities. As you can see on the screen right now, the adults attending are all very well known to the children. They're very experienced. We've got members of SLT on there, and obviously Mrs. Ditchburn, who's the head teacher, will be back and forth between Hothersall Lodge and school. So they're very well looked after. While we are there, the children will have full access to the grounds. There's no other school visiting this time round. So the children, during their free time, they will have that full access to the grounds within boundaries. So we'll say tonight you're going to be in the forest, tonight you're going to be within this area, and that's for the duration of the stay. And the different environments do include, there's a woodland, there's a field where we do play rounders and football. We will be having a campfire. There's a games room and an area where they can play basketball and things within a cage, the mugger. This is the itinerary of events. So as you can see, we do have activities on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's pause it there and then you can have a read. As you can see, all children will experience all activities or be offered to use all activities and the facilities at Hothersall Lodge. Children will be split into groups, so it'll be on a rotation basis. Sleeping at Hothersall Lodge looks like the image that is of the Hothersall Lodge, and the children will sleep in dormitories. As you can see, it's one large room separated by curtains and little partition walls between the beds. In each dormitory, there is a bunk bed, a wardrobe, and I think there's a bedside table for children to organise their things. They are responsible for making the bed, and that is something that we'd like them to do on their own, independent of adult support. As you can imagine, making 60 beds is hard enough. So the children will be expected to make their own beds and keep the dormitories organised for the duration of the stay. Mrs. Ditchburn Hughes does like to award prizes for those children that are the most organised. This year, children have been given or will be given a red and a green bin bag. The green bin bag is for your dry clothes, your clean clothes. So you'll pack, as you come to Hothersall Lodge, your clothes will all be in the green bag. And as they get dirty and as they get wet, they'll be placed in the red bag. And that's just so to help the children stay organised and know which clothes are clean and which are dirty and ready for the wash when they return home. Here is a brief description of what to bring to Hothersall Lodge. There is a kit list going home as well. Just bring plenty of clothes, old jumpers, old tracksuit bottoms. Jeans aren't suitable. Even at night time, we'll be doing activities where jeans aren't great. So if you have got the trackies or the leggings, that's even better. Plenty of socks. The worst thing in the world is wet feet, wet socks. Plenty of socks. And 3 pairs of shoes. Now the shoe situation, you need one for indoors. They never leave the dormitories. So I'll be taking a pair of slippers for that indoor pair. A pair for outdoors. That's when you do it. That's for all your activities. So for when you're walking and you're climbing, and so a pair for outside that you don't mind getting ruined. But then 1 pair for the lake. Now this pair for the lake, it's just so that when you do go into the lake, so the children will be jumping in and they're stood at the bottom of the lake, the children's feet aren't getting hurt by the bottom of the lake. And they are likely to get ruined. So I'll be taking a pair of slippers for indoors, my usual pair of trainers or walking boots for outdoors, and then a pair of trainers that I personally will be throwing away at the end of the trip and not bringing home because they are old and ready for the bin anyway. However, children in the past have brought their pair of trainers home and washed them and they've been fine. Children are entitled to bring £5 spending money. There isn't much to spend your money on. There is a little tuck shop with little souvenirs, little key rings and pens, rulers and rubbers and so on. So £5 is enough for the entire stay. For activities where children might require waterproofs or specialist equipment or walking boots, Hothersall Lodge have plenty. So don't go out and buy anything special. If you do need to just, like children have had a growing spurt and you do need to kick them out a little bit, go to charity shops. Don't waste money on decent clothes for this trip. They're outside all day, every day till late at night. They get dirty, they get grubby. It's not ideal to bring in designer clothes. So here you can see what not to bring. So you can see we don't accept any mobile phones, no electronic games, no items of value, no hair straighteners, makeup, jewellery, designer clothes, absolutely not. And anything you don't want to get ruined, you're only allowed to bring things that you expect to get ruined. So that is a brief what's happening at Hothersall Lodge, brief description of what is happening at Hothersall Lodge. You will need to let your child's teacher know about travel sickness and make sure that they have got their tablet and they've had their tablet in the morning, and hand one more tablet over to be given just before we get on the coach. Medical forms should be now in. Mrs. Clay is collecting them in. There are a few still outstanding. The behaviour at Hothersall Lodge. One of the reasons why Mrs. Ditchburn Hughes does not come on the coach to Hothersall Lodge and she's back and forth between Hothersall Lodge and school is that so if there is any behaviour issues, any defiance, any children refusing to stay safe, they will be brought back to school and you'll be notified to come and collect your child from school. We will not be tolerating any misbehaviour whatsoever. We've not had to do it yet, but it is there in place. The child will come back to you and you'll be expected to collect them. We are aware of any food allergies. There is an insurance little quote at the bottom of there if you want to pause the video recording. Not many parents do choose to take out the additional insurance, but it's similar to what happens on school trips. So if you do want to pause and take a read of that. Okay, so on the 26th of June, which is a Monday, you will arrive at school at the usual time with your case and bags containing your clothes and other items. You're going to come to school and enter the school via the hall doors. So you will not go straight to your classroom. And that's so you can keep your bags in the hall. You should arrive dressed and ready to participate in activities. So although we will not be leaving school until about lunchtime at 11:30, you should be ready for the activities when you get to Hothersall Lodge. You will need a packed lunch, which you will eat when we arrive at Hothersall Lodge. And any and all medication should be identified on the medical form, but also should be handed to your class teacher and will sign to say we've received it. And that is the end of the presentation. I will also put on the website little frequently asked questions section because it does happen that every year the same questions are asked. So before you contact school, just have a look there to make sure it's not already been asked and we've answered it there, and then you've got the PowerPoint to refer to. But as always, we are always available for any questions. At the end of the day, we are taking your children away and you need to know that they are safe and you've prepared them ready for it. Thank you.